Hello and welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here because today is a joyous day. Today is the 1-year anniversary of the Loot Letter, which is my no-nonsense newsletter that sends you a PDF once a month of something that I have written. Wow, I can't believe that it's been a year. It actually blows my mind. When I started the Loot Letter, the reason why I started it is because I was originally writing for a Patreon, and the Patreon shut down. And I was like, man, what am I going to do to flex my creativity, to grow into being a writer? Because I understand that you don't just boop, you're a writer. You have to grow into it, and it takes years and years and years. And I understand that I'm probably not going to be anywhere close to published until I'm 40. Obviously, I'm going to do little projects here and there, but I'm probably not going to be experienced enough to do big things until I'm 40, but I got to practice now. I have to practice. And so I was trying to think of a way to practice and stretch my legs and challenge myself and flex those muscles inside my brain. And that is how the Loot Letter was born. It was born out of me wanting to become something, honestly, and wanting to grow myself. And you guys hopped on board, and I'm so stupid happy that you guys hopped on board with me. And honestly, I cannot express how proud I am that I did all 12 Loot Letters last year. 2025 was not the easiest year for me, but like I said in my yearly review, it was a slow and steady year. It was all about being consistent. And I just have never been a consistent person in my entire life. I've always been, let's do this, let's do this, let's do this. I'm very airtight mind, and so I tend to just have fleeting thoughts and then they go. I really wanted to stop doing that. I really wanted to capture my thoughts, and that was what the Loot Letter was. It was me capturing my thoughts and flexing my muscles every single month, even if I didn't want to, and flexing the muscles of not wanting to flex my muscles every single month. And I delivered, and I'm so proud of myself for delivering. And that means that in 2026, we're going to be delivering too, baby. Yeah, that's right. I'm still continuing into 2026. The exact same thing. No nonsense, no ads, no anything. Just you and me and a PDF and a dream. That's all we're going to do. So January. What did I decide to do for January? Well, I decided to challenge myself. Not just everyday challenge myself, but do something that I felt was a big step. And that was an independent one-shot. When I wrote one-shots back in the Patreon days for another company, I was writing for another company. So whenever it came to the other company, and the cohesiveness of the Patreon, I would have to keep other people in mind. I would have to keep a certain audience in mind. I would have to keep certain creatures that are coming out in mind, all that kind of stuff. And so there wasn't ever room for me to truly be independent in my writing. Be the writer that writes what I want to write, because I was essentially commissioned. I was always commissioned. And so for me, jumping into the aspect of one-shots, one-shots are incredibly difficult. I find one-shots are the most difficult thing to write personally, because there are so many ways that you can make a mistake. There's so many ways that it can go wrong. There are so many things you have to account for, and so many ways that if you don't account for it, you're screwed. And it's a place where not only you have to trust other people, because you have to trust the dungeon master and the players, you have to trust yourself to know that you're going to give enough information, but not too much information so that you're railroading everyone, because that's the fear of one-shots is railroading, right? And so for me, one-shots is this incredibly difficult equilibrium to access. It tends to be one side or the other. And whenever I was writing one-shots for as company, I had the ability to look at somebody and say, is this this? Is this that? And I also had the ability to build off of other people. In fact, sometimes they would request me to build off of other people. And that was all super super helpful for me to have structure around finding this equilibrium. Well, all that's gone. That's all gone. And so I actually haven't written a one-shot since working for that company. I actually haven't written a one-shot yet because finding that equilibrium is terrifying to me. And I did not feel like I was prepared and ready. Well, after a year of working on the one shot and working on the loot letter and flexing my muscles and being more confident in myself and slow and steady, I said, you know what, it's time. It's time for me to tackle the one shot. So that is what I am presenting to you today as the loot letter for January. The one shot. Now this one shot is very interesting. It's also dark. I did not realize how dark I wanted to go with my own writing. So please be advised that this is not probably appropriate for children. I wouldn't give this one to children. It's quite dark. So, but I was surprised at how dark I went with my own writing, but I love it. I love this one shot. I would run this one shot. It is called Haggish Dealings because let's be honest, who doesn't love a hag? But also, hags exist in different TTRPGs. That was one of the keys of the one shot, one of the pieces of the equilibrium that I am trying to precariously balance this on. I wanted the one shot to be able to be played in Pathfinder and Daggerheart. That was extremely important to me. And I feel like this is really successful in all three games. Actually, any fantasy game, I feel like this would be successful as long as they have a haggish creature that is hag-like and has hag qualities. This would actually be a very successful one shot in any of these. There is no specification to D&D. There is no specification to what kind of ability scores or whatever. It is all up to the dungeon master to make those credentials, and that is twofold. It's so that it can be different games and also so that it can be different levels. Because if you have 3 hags, it can be one level. If you have 5 hags, it can be another level. You know what I mean? So, Haggish Dealings. Honestly, to summarize the story of Haggish Dealings, because everyone loves hags, to summarize what these hags are up to, I think it is best for me to read the part of the one-shot called The Setup. Now, this was actually the first thing that I wrote and dug my teeth into, because it was so necessary to think my own thoughts out loud. So this is the setup of the one shot that is free for you to download on the doobly-doo below. The city of Hereford is a ranching town about 2 days' journey south of the Adventurers Guild. By the way, this is an Adventurers Guild one shot. I found that was the easiest way to integrate it. It is a well-established hotspot for any meat connoisseur due to the abundance of a specific cow called a Wagyu cow. This cow has a gene mutation that produces a unique meat well known for its marbling, and therefore highly sought after. According to the headmaster of the Adventurers Guild, Angie, the mayor of Hereford, Lord Reginald McGrath, makes a request to the guild every year to travel to the forest that separates the town from civilization and acquire a dire boar for them to roast and serve at a celebration they host called the debutante ceremony. In the ceremony, where the party is welcome and encouraged to participate in, 3 young ladies from the town are selected to be gifted to a beautiful ball gowns and ride off to the capital. There they will participate in a courting ball and be married off to rich men from around the world and live out the rest of their lives happy and healthy. However, not everything is as it seems. The truth is, these girls will not be going to the capital. Instead, they will be shipped to the forest, where a coven of hags will take them and feast on their bodies and youth, killing them in the process. The ritual is used to maintain the hags' illusion of being beautiful young humans. In exchange, the hags cast an enchantment on the cows of Hereford, enhancing the meat to become its well-known taste and gaining a unique marble texture, thus making the town rich and gaining the mayor the title of Lord. The mayor and the hags have had this arrangement for almost a decade and has been quite prosperous, for a price that the mayor was willing to pay. This mayor sucks. So yeah, that is what is going on in this town. That is kind of the background of everything. It is super duper fun to be able to write something like that, be able to write something so dark and demonic. But also that's exactly what hags would do. Like that's just what hags are. Hags are hags. So I really, really hope that you like it. It is in the doobly-doo down below for all of you for your downloading convenience. I will say that I would be super excited if somebody could give me some feedback on this one. It is something that I tried really, really hard on, but still, like, finding that equilibrium is just so difficult. And I just want to make sure that I didn't railroad it too hard. I did make branching pathways, but I just don't want to railroad things too hard in the one shot. That'll do it for me today. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much if you download Haggish Dealings. And also, if you're not subscribed, you should subscribe because that would be really cool of you. Anyways, I appreciate you guys oh so much. You are always welcome at my table, and I will see you next week with something. I don't know what because I'm not predicting it anymore. Goodbye.